Tonight, on continuing coverage of the Black Lives Matter protests over George Floyd, we're looking at historical monuments, statues, Confederate monuments being torn down. It's a giant list that keeps growing, and I don't know if we're going to have any statues left by the time this is all over. Question time on BBC. They're even discussing it over in jolly old England. And I happen to notice on the sidebar here, there's this video. Tucker Carlson says Black Lives Matter is now a political party. That makes me wonder if, are we looking at a third-party presidential candidate? Is Black Lives Matter going to put forward a dude that we can vote for between Biden and Trump? The third option? Can we get a third option, please? Who would be good? I don't even know. Maybe Dave Chappelle. Fuck it. Maybe Joe Rogan. Well, he's not really a Black Lives Matter guy. We've elected Trump. He was a celebrity. I can see some celebrities that would probably be pretty good. Anyway, let's move on to this little video compilation of statues getting pulled down. Kind of reminds me of that video game. I don't know how I feel about it. It's kind of like burning books in a way because it's art that somebody spent a lot of time working on. It takes a lot of work to make a rock into a dude. Even if it was a dude that owned slaves, or I don't even know if some of these guys are really offensive to Black Lives Matter. We'll look into that in a second, but like Jefferson Davis, he was a president. A lot of the presidents owned slaves. We're gonna take down every monument. Leopold II, what's he got to do with anything? Antwerp. Troops decimated the Congo. Oh, well, that's just another country. It's not because they're black. Or were they, taking Congo people as slaves? I don't know. Robert Milligan. A lot of these people that are taking down these statues, are they really, all historical buffs? Do they all know history? Columbus, I see that one. Yeah, take down all the Christopher Columbus bullshit. That's the leader of the Boy Scouts, Robert Baden-Powell. I guess he was, Nazi sympathizer or something? I thought it was going to be something like child molestation. What's going on right now? Boy Scouts being sued. So let's look at the list. Wikipedia. In the United States, Edward Carmack, toppled by protesters May 30th. He was an opponent of Ida B. Wells, who was an investigative journalist leader in the civil rights movement. Encouraged retaliation for his support of the civil rights movement. Okay, I can see that. I paid my tax. What's this guy? Appomattox. Bronze statue commemorating Confederate soldiers from Alexandria, Virginia. The owner... Okay, they were already in discussions for removing this one with the Daughters of the Confederacy. So they moved the date up because of the protests. Charles Lynn. Protesters unsuccessfully attempted to remove the nearby one, Confederate Soldiers and Sailors Monument. And I guess they were not able to do that, so they just toppled the one closest to it. Maybe Charles Lynn isn't even a slave owner. I don't know what the deal is with Charles Lynn. But it's in Alabama, so he probably was. Bust of Robert E. Lee in Fort Myers, removed by the Sons of Confederate Veterans. I guess they owned it, and maybe they were forced to remove it. I don't know. Doesn't say. Statue of Robert E. Lee High School. 4 people were charged with felony criminal mischief over removal of the statue. So they're not that wasn't an authorized one where there's oh, we're also going to rename the school. They just that was a crime, I guess. Bentonville Confederate Monument. Plans for removal by the Daughters of the Confederacy already. Athens Confederate Monument. Mayor and city commissioners announced plans to remove it. It's a Confederate monument, I guess it's okay. Nash County Confederate Monument. Gloria Victis. What is that? It's like an angel holding a Confederate soldier or something? That's kind of weird. Norfolk Confederate Monument. That's just a big pill. Oh, there's a guy on top. Announced it would no longer clean the monument. Okay. Statue of Frank Rizzo. Isn't that the guy from the Crank Yankers? Or not Crank Yankers. The other prank call that wasn't even on a TV show. Jerky Boys. Isn't that from Jerky Boys? Frank Rizzo? What's he do? Statue of Philadelphia police chief and mayor. Oh, because he's a cop, I guess. Sure, yeah. I'm fine with that. That's kind of cool, though. He's like stepping off of this pedestal. I haven't seen a statue like that before. Robert E. Lee Monument. As soon as possible. This is on state land. J.E.B. Stewart Monument. I'm sure that's a Confederate guy. He's got crossed swords sitting on a horse. Stonewall Jackson, Confederate. Matthew Fontaine Maury Monument. So I guess it's a whole big deal that everybody's talking about, like, everybody's proud of the Civil War even though they lost, and it's like the South is, I mean, it's the same old argument you hear all the time. I'm fine with it, but it's kind of a shame at the same time. One riot, one ranger. References a riot outside Grayson County Courthouse during a trial where a black man was accused of assaulting a white woman. Model was deployed to prevent African American students from enrolling in Mansfield High School at Texarkana Community College. So that was removed on June 4th. Slave auction block. Why the fuck y'all got that in Fredericksburg, Virginia? I guess I was thinking of it more like a head chopping block, but statue of Raphael Semmes, Navy Admiral. Okay. Orville Hubbard. Who's that fucking Orville Hubbard, Dearborn, Michigan? Sam Davis, a Confederate soldier. Okay, school removed it. Toppled, Williams Carter Wickham, pulled from its base. Painted over by the city. And a mural painted over, Frank Rizzo. Oh, that's good, Philadelphia. Confederate Soldiers and Sailors Monument, that's that one. I guess that's a different one, different city. John B. Castleman, Cherokee Triangle, Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. Statue of Christopher Columbus. Jacksonville Confederate Monument. Overnight removed the monument. Alright. As soon as possible, Denton Confederate Soldier. Look at this list. It just keeps going. I'm not even halfway down yet. Monument to Confederate Soldiers. Women of the Confederacy tribute. Jefferson Davis again. I thought there might be some interesting stories on the sides of these, like how it was removed. Statue of Jerry Richardson. He was alleged to be racist and sexist. The statue was removed at the Bank of America Stadium for fear it would be destroyed by protesters. Oh, so you just removed it yourself? Removed by the Carolina Panthers. Okay. Christopher Columbus, Minnesota, Massachusetts. Toppled by members of the American Indian Movement. So, what? Oh, okay. That makes sense. So, it's not even Black Lives Matter. It's like Indian Lives Matter or something. What is going on with that? Richmond Police Memorial. Okay. Statue is going to be restored and reinstalled. Spirit of the Confederacy. What's that, like an angel or something? Angel holding a sword and a palm branch. Okay, I don't get it, but statue of Richard Dowling. And going to be relocated. Statue of Philip Schuyler. Due to the fact that he owned slaves. Delaware Law Enforcement Memorial. An axe and 2 urine-soaked state flags were found near the statue that had been partially decapitated. The memorial wall behind the statue was unaffected. Okay, there's a lot of people pissing on flags. Okay, we're at the end of the list already. Removal by Mayor Mike Pierzicki, Caesar Rodney, and another Jefferson Davis in Frankfort, Kentucky. And then you got like 4 of them in the UK. Edward Colston, slave trader, thrown into Bristol Harbor. Robert Milligan, Scottish merchant and slave trader. Robert Clayton. This is almost like Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book, but for slave owners and Confederate soldiers or something. Oh man, when are we gonna start protesting all that? Take over all the government that was in his list of. I don't know. So there's buildings. Market House building set on fire by demonstrators chanting Black Lives Matter. This is in North Carolina. Memorial to the women of the Confederacy. Flames covered most of the front of the building. There was extensive smoke and water damage. So this isn't just, this is monuments too and memorials. Confederate flag at the intersection of two roads was temporarily removed after threats to burn it were made on social media. There's another ceiling mural. Confederate Army plaques. The U.S. Marine Corps officially banned the Confederate battle flag from both public and work spaces on its military bases, including display on bumper stickers, clothing, and coffee mugs. University of Kentucky. Fresco in the foyer has been criticized for its romanticized depiction of African American slaves. Okay. I guess that makes sense. NASCAR? Prohibited the display of the Confederate flag at NASCAR events. Oh yeah, there's a thing about that guy who had like a NASCAR on his car. He resigned from NASCAR. Like anybody cares or knows who he is, because they won't let him fly his special flag. Cork GAA. That's Ireland. All right, and then we got PGT Beauregard. Renaming buildings. Lady Antebellum, because of its association with slavery, they changed their band to Lady A. That's not really changing it, just not saying the word. Some residence halls. I don't even know any of these places. So, what do you guys think about this? Look at all these statues. One of them got tossed in the lake. They're getting beheaded. I mean, I don't really care about statues because it's not really people. It's just people that are sentimental getting all pissed off about it. But are we going to like forget our history if we remove all the statues and things that remind us of it? Because those that forget history are doomed to repeat it and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we're kind of going down the Nazi road again anyway, and we know all about that. So it doesn't really hold true.